Hi everybody, I'm here today with Cheryl Gaudette. Yeah?
Yeah.
I say the T in your name? Alright. So we all know her from her guitar playing and singing up on top of the Jonathan Hotel.
Yep.
But I am really excited about this new comedy club.
I am too. I am too.
Tell us about it.
Okay. Once a month from November to March, I'm bringing in stand-up comedians from across the United States to do a show at the Mazatlán Hotel.
The best venue in town.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
The Venado showroom. Yeah. So the first show is November 30th, and it will feature Kenny Bob Davis and Jim Summers, both from LA. Fabulous comedians, and just really, really wonderful people.
Well, yeah, I was looking up this morning on your website. I mean, they come from all over the place, and they've traveled the world.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's been on primetime TV. They got albums out the yin yang.
I know, it's pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah, got some good people.
Yeah.
And how in the heck did you decide to do this?
Well, I was on the email chatting with Eric Strite one night. He was a friend of mine from LA, and you probably know Eric from the Gator Boys episode that he brought down to Mazatlán. And so we were talking one night, and I said, you know, I want to do something different other than my music, because I have a background in festival. I produced a festival in Ontario and ran it for 4 years, so I have a background in production and
And the festival is very cool. More about that in a second.
Okay. So Eric said, well, what about a comedy club? Mazatlán could really use a comedy club. And I said, well, whoa, that's a great idea. Where's that coming from? And he said, well, I used to be a comedian, and I owned a comedy club in LA, and I know some people, and I can give you some names and just see where it goes. So I said, all right. So first of all, I went to meet with some of the hotels and try to get a feel for where could I do this. You know, I didn't really know anybody from other than venues that I've played at, so I went to some of those. And, had a great meeting with Lance Vant at the Holiday.
Lance is a wonderful guy.
Yeah. So that was 2 years ago, and we agreed that he wanted to see how the country series show would turn out, and then take it from there. You know, just get him. He didn't want to take on 2 new shows at the same time.
Yeah.
So
that's smart.
Yeah, very smart. So that gave me time to kind of get my head around the whole idea and start researching some of the comics. And then we met again the following spring, and we both said, yeah, let's do it, let's go for it. So then I really got to work and just spent the whole summer.
I can't imagine. You must have combed, what, hundreds of videos of hundreds of people.
Yeah. There are a lot of comedians out there. And I wanted to have a good balance of men and women, because it's a pretty male-dominated industry. So I have 3 fabulous female comics coming down. And they were all really wonderful to work with too, I must say. The comedians are just fabulous people.
You've got some new friends out there.
Yeah, and they, you know, they referred me to some of their colleagues, so, you know, it was really a grassroots kind of approach. They're all really
and
excited.
they gotta be excited. They came down here for a week on the beach.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice gig.
They're really excited to be coming down here, you know, because a lot of them travel through Northwest in the middle of the winter, and this is a great alternative for a week in Mazatlán.
And you've got 2 comedians for every show.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And the guy in December is he's the Santa Claus in the Hollywood.
For the Hollywood parade.
Christmas parade.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's a comedian too.
Yeah.
In full Santa regalia.
Yes.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh no, it's gonna be amazing.
I mean, it's gonna be a great family show. I hope a lot of local people come out.
I hope so too. When I first put up the Facebook site, I got a lot of hits from local people, so hopefully we'll come out too and enjoy it. And a lot of English-speaking people who live in Mazatlán, so that's the idea.
So it's a gorgeous venue, that Salón de los Venados. We've all, you've seen it on. Yeah. 500 pesos gets you full buffet dinner.
An open bar.
The 2 comedians. Open bar also.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Does Lance know what he agreed to?
Pace yourself. Yeah. I know, it's a good deal.
Yeah. And then she has master or mistresses of ceremony for the evening who are local people.
Both.
So stay tuned to see who those people are.
Eric Strite is emceeing the first one, so that's going to be really fun.
Appropriate.
Because he's pretty funny in his own right. So
yeah, I think it's great. And just as we were just talking about it, Cheryl, you've been telling me about this folk festival you did, and I think it's so cool, your background with that, because her whole life she's had this music career, but you've also, tell us about your other career.
Yeah, I started working for the Canadian Paraplegic Association when I was right out of university, actually. And so that was my career my daytime career, other than being a full-time musician too. But so I worked hands-on for most of my life with people with physical disabilities, and the folk festival that I found, it was at a 90-acre wheelchair-accessible resort in the country, north of Toronto. So all of the festivals were available. The programs were in Braille. We had signers on each stage, and yeah, it was pretty fabulous. And I partnered with the First Nations community in Ontario too.
Fantastic.
And we also worked with environmental organizations. So it was a pretty multifaceted kind of approach to bringing people together to, just resource from one another. And a lot of these different communities had gained information from each other on how to make themselves more public and more accessible to the community. And yeah, it was really, really a wonderful experience.
Yeah. It sounds so fantastic. I would hope eventually we might be able to do something here to involve those communities as well.
Yeah, very interesting. I see there's a lot more accessibility in Mazatlán than there was even when I first arrived here.
God bless you for doing it.
It's great.
Been wonderful. The ramps and I noticed some of the crossings now are making a noise.
That's right, for hearing impaired, or visually impaired, I should say.
Well, you were also telling me how you think you may be the first English language comedy club in Mexico, which is pretty cool.
Pretty confident of that. I've researched it, and I haven't found any other comedy clubs in the whole country.
Amazing.
Other than, like I was telling you earlier, there's a comedy festival, the week-long comedy fest in Baja. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Could be some groundbreaking.
Yeah, pretty soon Mexico City will be coming out here to learn from Mazatlán for a
let's
change.
see, Let's hope for
Be
that.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping that maybe we can extend it into the summer and hire Mexican comedians.
I would absolutely love that.
Because there's such a big population of nationals coming to Mazatlán every summer now.
And there are comedians who come through every once in a while, but they'll usually, it's just a one-shot deal, to my knowledge, and they'll perform at Durango or, usually over at the University of Durango. But it'd be wonderful to have them come once a month and perform at the Hotel Playa.
Yeah, because comedy is such a huge part of the culture here. And same from where I come from, the east coast of Canada. Comedy is just part of our culture.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that I'm really glad that Eric suggested that I do this, because I wouldn't have thought about it probably.
Yeah, the concierge, when we bought our tickets, he assured me it was going to sell out.
I hope so. I hope so.
He seemed very confident.
Well, I'm 100% confident in the shows, and having gone through all the material and like you said, you saw the content of the websites and all these comics and what they've done and where they've been, and that part of that aspect of it, to me, is I'm just 100% confident in the shows themselves. So I'm looking forward to getting down to seeing the show and meeting everybody for the first time.
Okay, so MazatlanComedyClub.com.
Right? .com, yep.
500 pesos a ticket. Get them at the Hotel Playa via the concierge there.
Yeah.
And tickets are ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Get some laughter going.
Okay. We'll make you laugh.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Okay, thanks a lot.